Christian Fuchs has been Newport County manager for 8 league games now, and that gives us enough of a sample size to have a bit of an overview and analyse the Fuchs era so far. Now, he didn't win in his first 6 in the league, and of course that also included a heavy defeat to Boreham Wood in the FA Cup. It wasn't a great start in terms of points, but that home win against Crewe Alex on the night of the 29th of December, I think has done quite a lot of good for the Christian Fuchs Newport County fan relationship. The first home win since March, and it means that in 4 home games in the league under Fuchs, they've picked up 5 points, with 2 draws in there against Barrow and Barnet and the defeat to Fleetwood. But away from home, 1 point from their 4 away games. They still have to work out how to be more effective and harder to beat away from home. I think it's fair to say that the last 3 games, not just that Crewe one, have garnered a bit more positivity than those that came before. And I think the switch to a 3 at the back system and the consistent selection of a back line, I think, has helped defensively, and that is going to be absolutely crucial. So the performance against Crewe, the most promising by far, a clean sheet which followed a clean sheet against Barnet, and crucially against Crewe, they took some chances as well for a really positive 2-0 win. Massive for the confidence, massive for the fans. But Newport are still really struggling against better sides, and I know that Crewe are mid-table, top half, but as Newport fans know, having played them twice over the last few weeks, they can definitely be got at. They are a little bit flimsy. But when Newport have played Bromley, when they've played Colchester, Fleetwood, Oldham in Fuchs' first game, where admittedly he didn't have much time to prepare, they have been fairly comfortably beaten, I would say. And overall, the underlying stats, which we like to look at to try and dig a little bit deeper than just pure results, are not great. They don't suggest that there has been a huge improvement overall under Christian Fuchs, although we might be seeing it over the last couple of games. We need to see more of that until we can be absolutely sure. The stats, the shot stats, the XG, for example, they suggest that Newport haven't got much more potent in attack, but they are actually giving up more shots at the other end, conceding more XG against in that 8-game sample size than they were before. Again, that might improve if Fuchs sticks with the current formation. He tried a few things early on, the odd 4-4-2 with Jed Garner playing off Baker Richardson or maybe Opoku. I don't think that works for Newport. I don't think that they have the quality out of possession. And frankly, I don't think they've yet showed the quality in possession to play a system that really needs both of those things. There are famously quite a lot of ways to counteract a 4-4-2, to find spaces between the lines and to damage teams that play that system. And personally, I don't think Garner offers enough to the team to be worth a spot in the starting 11 as part of a front 2. Now, recently we've seen more of a 3-4-3 with 2 wide forwards flanking a striker, 2 central midfielders, wing backs and 3 centre backs. And I do personally think that getting a consistent back 3 playing, probably Baker, Clark and Jenkins, will be a huge benefit if Fuchs can get them all fit and get their relationship developing. A really consistent back line is obviously a crucial part of a team improving from this point. That still means there's problems, I'm afraid, in midfield and in the wide forward areas. A huge blow was losing Sammy Braybrook, who Leicester recalled and sent to Chesterfield in the same division. That'll really sting for county fans, because Braybrook pretty much proved that he is far too good for this level. And he's probably one of the best Newport County players that I've seen over the last few years. They've obviously had some famous loanees before, such as Ben White, Antoine Semenyo, and I think you have to say, from Braybrook's performances, the character and personality that he showed on the pitch, both with and without the ball, it was an astounding set of performances from Braybrook, and he was getting better all the time. So with him leaving, there's just a huge issue here. Now, there may be an argument that Matt Smith is the Braybrook replacement. And yes, he's very good on the ball technically, but I think there are 2 key points that we miss if we just think that Smith can replace Braybrook and we don't need to worry about another replacement. Because Smith struggles to play 90 minutes, Smith struggles to play 2 games in a week, Smith struggles, quite frankly, to play more than about 4 games in a row without having to miss a game for a period of time. If you need someone And he never plays, he almost never plays 90 minutes as well. When he does play, he doesn't have the stamina to keep running the game all the way through. And that's what Braybrook did. He played 90 minutes in almost every single game he played. He never hid. He never had to come off. He always wanted the ball, and out of possession as well. He was an absolute terrier, and Smith just doesn't offer that. If you said to me that Matt Smith and Kai Whitmore would be fit and could start every single game until now in the end of the season, I would be encouraged by that. But it would be a miracle based on the record of both of these players over the last season or two. Braybrook did so much with and without the ball that it's just almost impossible, I think, or very, very unlikely that Newport will be able to replace him. And if they are going to play 3-4-3, that means a two-man midfield where you will often come up against teams who play three in midfield. And it's not ideal if your midfielders, and only two of them, are just simply not as good as the opposition midfield. So we come back to the same issue that I think we banged on about before Braybrook arrived, and that is that there is just no one in this Newport team that plays in the centre of the park that is anything above average out of possession, defensively. Athleticism, ball winning, consistency, screening the defence, they all lack that ability, and it's a huge issue. Now, Harrison Biggins has already come in on loan. I don't love that signing, I'll be honest. I don't expect him to excel on the defensive end of things. I don't think that's his game. At his best, Biggins, with Doncaster and Fleetwood, he was an attacking number 8 that was very good at arriving late in the box and chipped in with a goal broadly every 5 games or so, which is a good goal-scoring record for a central midfielder. But I don't think that's the profile necessarily that Newport need at most right now. And then we get into the wide attacking areas where Bobby Camworth has probably much improved from being able to play in a position that suits him better, as he did last season. Michael Spellman's been playing a lot off the right, and I think it's fair to say that he's really struggling to impact games and rack up goals and assists consistently. They need to add in this area, and realistically, at least 2 players if this is the formation and the system that they're going to play. And up top, every team generally wants a striker in January, particularly those that are struggling. Can Newport attract someone better than Courtney Baker-Richardson or Opoku? You know, they're likely going to have a few loan slots available with a couple of players like Reindorf and Oganay probably heading back. So it's going to be a case of working out which loanees can come in and have a similar impact to Braybrook, but perhaps in the wide forward areas or at the very, very top of the pitch. This is difficult to do at this stage in the season, and it is difficult for young players to come into a team mid-season and have an immediate impact. So I think there are some positives. I think there's a lot that I'm still pretty concerned about, but I will finish on one major positive, and it's really nothing to do with Newport County and their own level under Fuchs. It's the fact that Shrewsbury, Crawley Town and Harrogate are all horrific teams in really, really poor form. And that means right now there are 4 teams plus Bristol Rovers who all look ripe for the drop, and only 2 relegation places. In Fuchs' tenure so far of 8 games, all of those sides, Harrogate, Crawley, Shrewsbury, Bristol Rovers and Barrow, have picked up fewer points than Newport's 6 in the same time period. So overall, I'd say my deep dive hasn't made me super confident that Fuchs has made Newport a much better side than they were under David Hughes, especially now that he's lost his best player by miles. I think there is still masses of work to do in the transfer market, on the training ground, and of course on the match day as well, to make sure that Newport stay up. But I also think that if improvements continue, as I think we've seen over the last 3 games, then the issues that other teams around Newport are having, which are just as dire as Newport's, mean that there is a great chance that Newport could find themselves with 2 teams below them come the end of the season. I still really want to see more consistent improvement from this county side, but I would love to hear from county fans in the comments. What have you seen over 8 games? Is it the case that the last 3 have massively changed your opinion of how Fuchs is getting on? And what chance of more than 6 points over the next run of 8 league games? It'd be great to hear from you in the comments. Make sure you subscribe to the DragonSports channel and head to dragonsports.co.uk for the best Welsh sports news.